Assalamualaikum students. And we mark your attendance in the chat box for starting the class, please. Everyone, please mark your attendance in the chat box. Okay, as we did parts of speech yesterday, today we're going to start up with the punctuation marks. Today we are going to start up with the punctuation marks. The division of punctuation marks. It's only the division. And then from next week onwards, we may have what else or division exercises, inshallah, or practice exercises, inshallah. So in punctuation, let's start with the punctuation mark. The first punctuation mark that we have is period. Period means that full stop. That full stop. Where to use full stop? Where to use full stop? The full stop is placed at the end of declarative sentences, statements to those to be thought to be completed after many abbreviations. Any sentence, when the sentence is completed, there we will use full stop. Any sentence, whether we are using a number of punctuation marks within the sentence, but when the thought or idea or the sentence will be completed, there we will use the full stop as a sentence ender. It is used as a sentence ender, and after an abbreviation. After an abbreviation date, we use full stop. Remember, in our abbreviations, we did an exercise of abbreviations in chapter number 6. So after every abbreviation, we use full stop, and after the ending of a sentence. So full stop is used as a sentence ender and after an abbreviation. This is so simple. Then a question mark. Where to use a question mark? A question mark is to indicate a direct question when placed at the end of a sentence. A question mark is used for the indication of a direct question. Means whenever we are asking a question, a direct question, not an indirect question, a direct question starting with the 5 W's and an H, or starting with helping verbs, whatever the type of question would be. If it is a direct question, we will use question mark by the end of the sentence. Then we're going to have, then we have the sign of exclamation. What is sign of exclamation? Yesterday we read about sign of exclamation, that where to use sign of exclamation. Where do we use sign of exclamation? Yesterday we read something where we read the use of sign of exclamation. Students, where else sign of exclamation is basically used when there is an expression of sudden feelings, emotions, strong feelings and emotions, or when the person has expressed something that is wondrous for that person. Yesterday we discussed a term where we use sign of exclamation. What is that term? What was that term? Speak up, please. After which term we use sign of exclamation? Interrogations? Lamia? Is it interrogation? After interrogation, we use sign of exclamation, or after interrogation, we use question mark? I think everyone was sleeping in yesterday's lecture and in today's as well. There were a number of people in yesterday's lecture. Everyone, Arham, Afan, all of you are here. Kaya, Lamia, Manur, Mariam, Nur, Fatma, Saad. Everyone was there in yesterday's lecture. Which my brain is not working right now. It's too early in the morning. That's why your brain is not working. Haven't you people taken your breakfast? So that your brains should start working. Hmm? Good. If you have taken your breakfast, so ask your brains to start working. Which term we read about discussed in which we use sign of exclamation? Just in yesterday's lecture we discussed. Oh, I have you haven't taken your breakfast. That's not fair. You should have wake up early. Just yesterday we discussed that that term in which there is a sudden expression of feeling and emotions, like the words hooray, alas. Very good. I remember. Lamia, that's good, Lamia. Thanks God your mind started working. At least one mind started working in the whole class. It was interjections. So after interjections or after exclamation, after the sentences where there is an expression of sudden joy or feelings, there we use interjections. For example, sign of exclamation. For example, after interjections, hurrah, alas, bravo, wow, or to emphasize a point, or we can say that after a sentence, what a beautiful shot, what a beautiful painting. So in this expression, we haven't used interjection, but there is expression of sudden feeling. My mother-in-law's rant make me furious. So these are sudden expressions of feelings, okay? Where we have used a sign of exclamation. Okay. Next we have comma, semicolon, and colon. The comma, semicolon, and colon are often misused because they all can indicate a pause in a series. Basically, all these three things have a same purpose for showing a pause. Normally, they are misused. Now, let's see why they are misused. The comma is used to show a separation of ideas or elements within the structure of a sentence. Additionally, it is used in numbers, dates, and letter writing after the salutation and close. So, where the comma is used, basically the comma is used as a separator. If we are adding a list of things in a sentence, for example, if I say that I like apple, oranges, and bananas. So as a separator, it is going to be used in a sentence. And moreover, it is used in numbers, dates. Remember, in dates, while writing the letter writing pattern, we use it in date. And letter writing, we use comma after salutation and closing. Dear sir, comma, closing. Yours sincerely, your truly, comma. So there we use comma. Now there are three uses of comma. Direct address, thanks for your help, John, where we are talking to a person directly, and to show a pause between your comment and the name of that person. If you are talking a person directly, so we take a shorter pause. Thanks for your help, John. So for that we use comma. Separation of two complete sentences. We went to the movie and then we went out to lunch. Remember, if we have read that while they are joining two sentences with the help of a conjunction, we will use a comma before the conjunction. While joining two sentences with the help of a conjunction, we use comma before the conjunction. Separating the list of elements within the sentence, that we all the thing we have already discussed, that Susie wanted the black, green, and blue dress. So the comma is used for three purposes. It's used on three places. Number one, while directly addressing the person. Number two, while joining two sentences before conjunction. And number three, that when we are adding a list of elements in a single sentence. Is it clear? Okay. Next we have is semicolon. Semicolon is used to connect independent clauses. It shows a closer relationship between the clause than a period would show. When two independent word clauses are joined together, what type of sentence is made? When two independent clauses are joined together, what type of sentence it would be? When we join two independent clauses, in which sentence do we have two independent clauses? Think about it. In the meanwhile, we are continuing with the lecture. I'll ask you after 5 minutes. So John was hurt. He knew she only said it to upset him. So when we are joining two independent clauses together, so we will use semicolon. Basically, semicolon and comma in interjection are replaceable. Either we can use a comma and a conjunction, or we can use a semicolon. Then we have colon. A colon has three main uses. The first is after a word introducing a quotation, an explanation, an example, or a series. We use colon after a heading when we are going to explain something. We give heading and we put colon after that for explaining something. He was number one, he was planning to study 4 subjects. So we are going to define something, we are going to explain something after the sentence. So we put colon for that. He was planning to study 4 subjects: politics, philosophy, sociology, and economics. Here we use comma as well because we have added elements of a list of elements. That's why. So when we are going to explain something, we will use colon. The second is between independent clauses, and when the second explain the first, similar to the semicolon. I didn't have time to get changed. I was already late. Again, it is used semicolon. Colon is also used within the independent clauses, but when the second clause is defining the first clause, it is telling something about the first clause. The third use of colon is for emphasis. Why we use the colon here? To emphasize something. There was one thing she loved more than any other: her dog. So when we want to emphasize something, for example, if you say that the one thing or the point you need to ponder over is to be attentive. So there we are emphasizing that thing, that to be attentive. So for before that we will use a colon. So there are 3 uses of colon. Then when we are explaining something, within the independent clauses, within the independent clauses, when the second clause is defining the first one, and the third one when we are emphasizing something, when we want to emphasize something. And then next we have dash and hyphen. A dash is used to separate words into statements. There are 2 common types of dashes. Leave that. Let's go for hyphen. A hyphen is used to join 2 or more words together into a compound term and is not separated by spaces. When we are join 2 words together to make a compound word, what is compound word? When 2 words, 2 different meaning words are joined together to make a single word having a different meaning, these are called compound words. So for joining compound words, we use hyphen. For example, part-time, back to back, but we will not give any space. Well known. Well has a different meaning and non has a different meaning. When these two words are joined together, they make a compound word, means a word having a different meaning from those when they, from the words when they were used separately. So these are compound words, and in compound words we use hyphen without the use of any space. Got it, everyone? The next one we have is parentheses. What are parentheses? Parentheses are brackets. Brackets are basically used within a sentence to add some extra information. Are curved notations used to contain further thoughts or qualifying remarks when we means that when we want to add extra information in the sentence, we want the writer to explain to explain something, or we want the reader to understand something. For example, sometimes you people use parentheses in your dialogues when you people write for example, if you are writing a dialogue between a customer and a tailor, just take example of this. So you people add parentheses to to give extra information. Assalamu alaikum, or we can say that the customer walks in the shop. This is the extra information that you want to provide your reader provide to your reader. So for providing extra information within the sentence, we use parentheses. John and Jane, who were actually half brothers and sisters, both have red hair. So this is something that in the sentence the writer wanted to provide extra information. Okay, next we have apostrophe. What is apostrophe? Apostrophe is basically used to indicate the omission of a letter or letters from a word. Basically, apostrophes are used in possessive cases. Possessive cases when we show the possession of something with someone. It's Sarah's, Adam's, Ali's, means Sarah's dogs with the neighbor, means the dog, the apostrophe s is showing the relation of dog with Sarah. So means this is for the case of possession. This is used for the case of possession. Secondly, we use the s in the apostrophe s in the lower case when we talk about the plurals. For example, 6 people were told to mind their p's and q's. We talk about twos and threes. They were counting in twos and threes. They were walking in ones and twos. So these are the two uses of apostrophe. One, when we are showing possession of something with someone, and apostrophe is used in the lowercase. Lowercase means in the smaller one. Lowercase when we talk about the plurals. Okay, next is quotation marks. Quotation marks are basically used when we write direct sentences, direct speech. When we are conveying someone's message directly. For example, don't go outside, she said. So in this sentence, we are conveying the message of the girl, she. We are conveying the message of the girl as it is. So we are quoting her words. That's why we use quotation marks. And quotation marks are basically used frequently for quotes within the quote. That when we are quoting something, someone quoting someone's saying, tired saying, anything. When we quote some sayings of some, when we quote sayings of some writers, anyone, famous people. Basically, both the uses have same purpose. When we are quoting the saying of some people, or when we are exactly saying the words, or telling the words, or conveying the words to the other person of someone, or similarly, when we are quoting the quotes of some famous person, both have same purpose. We use quotation marks. The quotation marks, if you are adding quotation marks somewhere, So there you have to use to be accurate. You have to be accurate. You don't have to change the wording within the inverted commas or quotation marks. Got it? Okay, students, that's all for today. Are all the relevant punctuation marks are clear to all of you? Are all the relevant? I just did for I just took those punctuation marks that are relevant to your syllabus that we can use in your you people can use in your person of punctuating the following paragraph or line. So are the relevant question marks, sorry, punctuation marks clear to all of you? Is it fine, everyone? Any confusion? Hmm? Anyone? Any confusion? Okay, that's good. Everything is clear. That's good. Okay, now we'll have a class on Monday, inshallah. And in Monday, we'll come up with some worksheets for parts of speech, hopefully, inshallah. Okay, students, that's all for now. Take care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.